Okay, so hope you took a little break if you needed to. By the way, I meant to say this in my first video and I completely forgot. You guys are doing amazing. Like, the learning curve has been huge for us teachers in the last week and a half of trying to figure out how to do all of this, and you guys are like just jumping in there and like figuring it out. And like, yeah, I know there's been frustrations. I know what's today? I'm losing track of days. Wednesday morning was rough for Miss Offin. I made a lot of mistakes. And you guys were very gracious, and I really appreciate that. So, but we made it through, and I know some of you were having technical difficulties and just having difficulties understanding how to upload things. And so, anyway, I hope that we're slowly getting things figured out. Just be sure and read all my instructions and Miss Chapman's instructions. We really do take time to type all of that stuff out to help you guys. So a lot of your questions sometimes are just because you didn't quite read the directions. A lot of you are trying to upload things when you don't need to upload anything. Anyway, so just kind of keep track of that. But all that to say, for 2 days, just Tuesday and Wednesday, you guys rocked it. So just think about how amazing y'all are going to be in the next week or two with this. You're going to be like just flipping through all these assignments like nothing. So super proud of you guys. Okay, distributive property. Let's do it. I'm a little nervous about this assignment because it can be tricky, and I'm going to actually throw a lot of stuff at you at once. Okay, I'm going to show you the really easy examples, and then we're going to jump into variables, and we're going to jump into fractions, and we're going to jump into negative numbers, and it's going to be great. I actually love this stuff. That doesn't mean you guys are going to love it. Some of you will. I know Ryan Chase is excited about this. Okay, so you can see that I already put distributive property spread out the crowd is kind of our little silly saying for distributive property. And I kind of got started on writing the definition just to save some time. So the definition is a multiplying and addition, okay, or subtraction. And these are actually really important. Because a lot of common mistakes as we get further along, you'll see, are because we didn't pay attention that it was an addition or a subtraction expression. We always assume it's always an addition expression, but it's subtraction as well. Okay, not multiplication, not division, just addition and subtraction. Okay, so we're multiplying an addition or subtraction expression. Remember, expressions are not equations. It's just part of an equation, the part that doesn't have an equal sign. By a factor is the same. Okay, multiplying an addition or subtraction expression by a factor is the same. I lost my place, as multiplying each number in that expression by that factor. What does that mean? Okay, well, let's figure it out. We're going to look at the addition examples and then the subtraction examples. And we'll work a couple of examples, and then I'll probably stop this video, let you kind of take a deep breath, and then I'll come back and we'll do variables and negative numbers and fractions, and kind of take it to the next level. Okay, so here's the addition expression. Don't freak out. It promises it's going to be okay. So the addition example is A times B plus C, because it's an addition expression, right? Addition is equal to A plus B, A times B plus, because it's an addition expression, A times C. So spread out in the crowd is basically these guys are squished together. They are not practicing social distancing. Just super weird. That's even a thing. So we are going to spread them out. Now, one other thing I want to read, this example, I want to change the way this is written, because A times B plus C in parentheses can also be written like this. Sorry, drawing a blank. That's going to be really what you're going to see the common form. Okay, you're not going to usually see it written like this. Remember, I've mentioned this many times, that when we're talking about algebraic expressions, the multiplication sign goes away. Sometimes they use a dot, but most of the time they just go ahead and put it right next to the parentheses. or right next to the variable. So this means that I'm multiplying A by B and C. Okay, now, because I know order of operations in the past, you've been able, well, actually I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, finish that sentence. You can add B and C together if you know what they are and then multiply by A, but you can't always do that. Okay, so we're going to start with just numbers, and we'll use order of operations as a check to see if we did it right. But then I'm going to show you when you can't use order of operations and you have to use the distributive property. Okay, so the distributive property means I need to take, this is an addition expression and it's being multiplied by a factor. So this is an addition expression, B plus C, and it's being multiplied by the factor A. And it's the same, this right here is the same as, which means it's equal to, okay, or equivalent to this expression, A times B plus A times C. Why? Why is that a thing? Because basically what happens is I'm saying I'm going to multiply A times the first number in the parentheses, which is B. And then to add to it, I'm going to multiply A times the second number inside the parentheses. I'm going to do A times B. And I always do like these little, I didn't leave room on top. I usually do it on the top, so I apologize. But you're basically going to kind of take this A and kind of dump it in or to the each number inside the expression. There could be 3 numbers in the expression. So because this is in parentheses, this is multiplication. Remember, it's multiplying an addition or subtraction expression by a factor, and the factor is usually outside the expression. So A times B, so we wrote it as A times B, plus, this is super important. You keep that plus sign, okay? A times C. Because A is being multiplied by the things inside the parentheses. This is a multiplication relationship, A on the outside. But the things in the parentheses are being added together. Okay, so, yeah. Let me use some numbers and show you how to do it with numbers. So what if I decide to use some numbers? And I'm not going to use this multiplication sign. I'm just going to write it like this. 2, 3 plus 4. Okay, so this is what we call the expression. Okay, and it is important that you jot down these differences. Okay, this is in basically expression form. But remember we've learned expanded form is where we expand it out. This is over here expanded. Okay, and this is an expression. So if I want to take this and write it in expanded form, my notes are not neat, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this 2, okay, and multiply it by the 3, and then multiply it by the 4, but keep my addition sign. So to expand this out, I'm going to do 2 times 3, 2 times 3, and I'm going to put it in parentheses because I'm putting a plus sign here, and I want to keep these 2 together. I want to group them together so they stay together. And then I'm going to come back and do 2 times 4, the other number inside the expression. Okay. And then, so you're given, sometimes these expressions are, or sometimes these are in like an expression form. That's really not a good word, expression form. But this is the best I can come up, the way I can explain it. And then we take it from this form to expanded form, and then you might be asked to evaluate it. Sorry. I'm having a hard time spelling. What's new, Miss Offit? Okay, so evaluate, remember we talked about evaluate means you're going to find the value of the expression. So I know that I could just do 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. But let's make sure we can use the distributive property on these easy ones before we get to the hard ones. So now I'm going to copy this down here. I'm going to do 2 times 3 plus 2 times 4. And then I'm going to do my order of operations, multiplication first. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 times 4 is 8. And those 2 together are 14. Right, where am I at? Yeah. Oh, I used the wrong example. I had a different example. Oh, well. Yeah. Now, could I have done it without the distributive property? Yes, because I know 3 plus 4 is 7, and 7 times 2 is 14. So here's the thing. We want to practice it with just numbers at first, because if you can't do it with just numbers and get the right answer doing it this way, expanded form and evaluating it, then you are not ready for variables and fractions and negative numbers. So we've got to learn it with just these simple numbers. Okay, so don't like, I'm not going to show my work, I can just do it in my head. Like, don't even. Anyway, so if you can't do it this way and this way, do not go on to the next lesson. You've got to be able to do this. Okay, so that's my addition example. We can do one more. Nah, we'll move on to subtraction because we've got a lot of examples. Okay, so now I'm going to do the subtraction example. Because remember we said it's a multiplying an addition or a subtraction expression. So it's formal, little definition. And I'm going to skip this step because it's just goofy. Excuse me. I lost my place. Here it is. Okay, this one's going to be A. Actually, I'm going to write it down here. A times B minus C. And yes, I know I'm writing in pen because it's easier to see than pencil, but please don't write in pen. Okay, this is just my expression. Okay, because it's saying multiplying an addition or subtraction expression by a factor, okay, is the same as, I'm going to expand it. So this is the same as, or equal, as saying A times the B and A times the C, but this time it's subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to do A times B in parentheses minus A times C in parentheses, because I want to keep those grouped together. Again, there's my subtraction sign. Okay, you've got to really pay attention to what's inside these parentheses. That is the most common mistake, is to add when it subtracts or subtracting when it's addition. So just take your time and work a step at a time. Okay, so let's throw some numbers in here. What if I did 8, okay, times 5 minus 3. Okay, that's my expression, right? What if I want to put it in expanded form? Okay, how do I expand it? Expanding it is basically showing one side of the distributive property. What we'll talk about next week is how to go from expanded form back to just a simple expression, simplified expression. Yeah, that gets a little crazy. I decided not to do that today because it's just too much. Okay, so we're going to do 8 times the 5, right? And 8 times the 3. And I'm going to keep my subtraction sign, right? Zoom in a little bit, see if that helps. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite an expanded form, 8 times 5, put it in parentheses because I need to keep it grouped together, minus 8 times 3. Okay, again, there's my minus sign. Okay, and then I want to evaluate it. Okay, I'm going to I'm running out of space. I'm going to write small. 8 times 5 minus 8 times 3. Okay, it's getting really small here. That's okay. Okay, so 8 times 5 is, did I not solve this one? Oh, no, I did. I'm doing the wrong one again. Okay, that's fine. 8 times 5 is 45 minus 8 times 3, which is 24, which equals 21. Okay, let's see if we did that right. No, that's not right. What did I do wrong? Let's see, 8 times 5. Oh, it's 40, not 45. Goodness, I saw fit. Okay, that's not right. So it should be 16, right? Yes. It should be 16. See, that's a great way why you should do it with numbers, because you mess up. I messed up, not you. And then if I want to check it, I can go, okay, 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, so I don't have any for you to practice on your own yet. Okay, I'm going to wait till we get to the end. Kind of go back through these, make sure they make sense. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and have you work 2 others really quick. I'm going to flip my paper over. And I'm going to write 2 others. Ooh, that is super messy. Ugh, I do not like that. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to do it anyway. Because I think I'm going to run out of pages if I don't. Try this one really quick. Try 2, 11 plus 6. Okay, and now I want you to expand it out. So I want you to expand it. And then I want you to evaluate it. Okay, and then we'll try a subtraction one. Okay, and I want you to expand it. And then I want you to evaluate it, just like I did on the examples. Okay, so hit pause for a second. I know that's kind of messy. Do like I did on these over here and see if you come up with the correct answer. Okay, so pause and then come back when you're done. Okay, welcome back. All right, so let's look at this first one. I'm going to do 2 times the 11 and 2 times the 6 because this is a multiplication relationship, right? So I'm going to go and write it in red. 2 times 11 in parentheses plus, this is plus 2 times the 6. Okay, then I'm going to evaluate it down here. 2 times 11 plus 2 times 6. Okay, 2 times 11 is 22, plus 2 times 6 is 12. Altogether, I get 34. Now, if I were to just do this without expanding it and doing the distributive property, I could check my work and go, okay, 11 times 6 is 17 times 2 is 34. So I did that one right. So hopefully that helped you figure out if you were on the right track. Okay, now we're going to multiply. This one is subtraction. Okay, 3 times 5. My expanded form, minus 3 times 4, okay, and then I'm going to evaluate it again by rewriting it. You might have have written this differently, so you have to keep rewriting it. That's fine. So 3 times 5 is 15, minus 3 times 4 is 12, and so then you get 3. And that's really easy to see because 5 minus 4 is 1. And then if you just did order of operations, and then 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so again, we need to learn how to expand it and evaluate it with really easy numbers because we're ending this video. We're coming back and we're going to throw in variables and negative numbers and fractions. And you're not going to be able to just look at it and do it order of operations mental math. Okay, so again, take a deep breath. It's going to be good. One more thing to learn, one more video, and then you'll do some practice. All right. See you later.